Ford is breaking records, selling more trucks than ever. But behind those numbers, a crisis is growing, one that could change everything. More Ford truck owners are drowning in debt, struggling with payments, and walking away entirely. If you drive a truck, or plan to buy one soon, this affects you directly. Ford's future is uncertain, and what happens next could reshape the entire pickup industry. Stick around because the truth behind Ford's truck crisis is bigger than you think. What's happening? On the surface, the numbers look promising. Ford's truck sales have remained strong, with the company reporting a significant increase in total vehicle deliveries over the past year. The F-Series lineup, including the best-selling F-150, continues to lead the segment, and Ford's overall market share appears stable. But beneath these record-breaking figures lies a different reality, one that exposes cracks in the company's foundation. One of the biggest misconceptions about Ford's recent success is that it is driven by organic consumer demand. In reality, a substantial portion of Ford's truck sales are not coming from individual buyers, but rather from fleet sales. Companies, government agencies, and rental services are purchasing these vehicles in bulk, artificially inflating Ford's sales numbers. While these bulk orders may temporarily boost Ford's revenue, they do not indicate strong consumer demand for its trucks. Fleet sales typically come with significant discounts, cutting into profit margins and reducing the long-term value of these transactions. Another reason for Ford's apparent sales success is the aggressive use of incentives and financing tricks. Large rebates, dealer incentives, and low-interest financing programs have been used to entice customers into buying new trucks. However, these tactics come at a cost. When automakers rely too heavily on incentives, they are essentially admitting that their vehicles are too expensive for most buyers at full price. Ford is walking a dangerous line, propping up sales numbers today at the expense of long-term profitability. Ford's biggest vulnerability, however, is its dependence on full-size trucks. While competitors like General Motors and Toyota have diversified their lineups with a balance of SUVs, sedans, and hybrid models, Ford has gone all in on its truck and SUV strategy. By eliminating sedans from its lineup, Ford has placed itself in a position where its success is tied almost entirely to the truck market. If that market weakens, Ford has no safety net. But there is an even bigger issue at play, one that goes beyond sales figures. The cost of owning a Ford truck has reached new heights, and for many consumers, it is becoming impossible to afford. The price problem. The average price of a new full-size pickup truck has skyrocketed in recent years, with many high-end models now exceeding $100,000. Ford, in particular, has embraced this trend, pushing luxury trims and high-performance packages that drive up prices even further. While this strategy may work for wealthy buyers, it alienates the everyday consumers who have historically relied on Ford trucks for their durability and practicality. One of the biggest contributors to rising truck prices is the increasing cost of materials and production. The shift toward aluminum body panels, advanced safety features, and high-tech interiors has driven manufacturing costs higher, forcing Ford to pass these costs on to consumers. Additionally, supply chain disruptions and inflation have made raw materials more expensive, further exacerbating the issue. As prices climb, more buyers are turning to longer loan terms to afford their vehicles. It is now common to see financing deals stretching 6, 7, or even 8 years. While these extended loans lower the monthly payment, they create a dangerous financial situation for buyers. Many truck owners find themselves in negative equity, meaning they owe more on their vehicle than it is worth. This cycle traps consumers in an endless loop of debt, making it difficult to trade in or sell their trucks without taking a financial loss. Another alarming trend is the rising number of repossessions. Many truck buyers, enticed by low monthly payments, underestimate the long-term financial burden of owning an expensive vehicle. As a result, an increasing number of owners are defaulting on their loans, leading to a surge in repossessed vehicles hitting the market. This trend does not just impact individual buyers, it also threatens the stability of the entire automotive industry. But the financial strain does not stop with individual truck owners. The entire auto industry is built on a fragile foundation of debt, and if that foundation collapses, Ford will be among the first to feel the impact. The growing debt crisis. More buyers than ever are defaulting on their truck loans. What happens when the bubble bursts? The auto industry has become increasingly reliant on debt, with banks and automakers working together to push longer and riskier loans. Ford, like many other automakers, has benefited from this system, encouraging buyers to finance finance their trucks over extended periods to make them seem more affordable. But this strategy has a major flaw. It only works as long as the economy remains stable. For years, automakers have encouraged dealers to offer financing deals that prioritize immediate sales over long-term financial health. With record-high vehicle prices, lenders have stretched the limits of what buyers can afford, offering loans with ultra-low interest rates and extended terms. This has kept truck sales strong, but it has also created a financial bubble that is now beginning to show signs of strain. Delinquencies and repossessions are on the rise. As interest rates climb and inflation squeezes household budgets, more buyers are falling behind on their payments. Many of these owners are finding themselves stuck with vehicles that are worth far less than what they owe, making it nearly impossible to escape the debt trap. The result? A growing wave of loan defaults, repossessions, and financial hardship for consumers. If the truck bubble pops, Ford will be the first to feel the impact. The company's entire business model relies on strong truck sales. If demand drops due to financial instability, Ford will be left scrambling to adjust, facing declining revenue, mounting inventory, and shrinking profit margins. But Ford's challenges are not just financial. The market itself is evolving, and new competitors are threatening to reshape the future of pickup trucks altogether. The pickup market is changing. One of the biggest threats to Ford's dominance comes from electric vehicle manufacturers like Tesla and Rivian. The Tesla Cybertruck, despite its unconventional design, has generated significant interest and has already secured hundreds of thousands of reservations. Meanwhile, Rivian's R1T has carved out a niche among adventure-focused truck buyers, proving that there is demand for a new kind of pickup. Ford's other challenge comes from Chinese automakers, like BYD, which are aggressively expanding into the electric vehicle space. While these companies have yet to enter the American pickup truck market, their rapid technological advancements and cost advantages could pose a significant threat in the future. If Ford fails to compete on price and innovation, it risks losing market share to these emerging players. The shift from gas-powered trucks to hybrids and EVs is another critical factor. Many truck buyers are beginning to prioritize fuel efficiency and sustainability, especially as gas prices fluctuate and government regulations push for lower emissions. Ford has made strides with the F-150 Lightning, but it still faces challenges in convincing traditional truck buyers to make the switch. The next decade will redefine pickups. Ford must adapt or be left behind. The company can no longer rely on the same old formula of bigger, more expensive trucks. If it wants to maintain its dominance, it must innovate, diversify its lineup, and respond to the shifting demands of consumers. Ford's struggles with affordability, debt, and competition are just a symptom of a larger issue. Electric trucks are proving to be a far tougher sell than many automakers expected. The harsh reality: Americans love their trucks. For decades, full-size pickups have been the best-selling vehicles in the country, with consumers valuing their versatility, power, and reliability. So when automakers, including Ford, rushed to electrify their truck lineups, they assumed the transition would be seamless. The logic seemed simple. If trucks are the most popular vehicles in America, then electric trucks should be just as successful, if not more. But that assumption was wrong. Despite the hype, sales of electric pickups remain well below expectations, and traditional truck buyers are proving far more resistant to change than automakers had hoped. The reason? A combination of practical limitations, financial concerns, and cultural resistance. Range anxiety remains one of the biggest barriers. While EV technology has improved, many truck owners rely on their vehicles for long-distance travel, heavy towing, and worksite duties. The reality is that even the best electric trucks experience a massive drop in range when towing or hauling. A gasoline-powered F-150 can easily handle a road trip with minimal stops, but an electric version may require multiple lengthy charging sessions, something most truck owners simply don't have time for. Charging infrastructure is another major issue. While EV adoption has grown in urban areas where charging stations are more accessible, rural America remains largely underserved. Many truck owners live in regions where public chargers are scarce, and home charging setups can be costly to install. Without widespread charging availability, many potential buyers see EV trucks as more of a hassle than a benefit. Even Ford's own leadership has acknowledged these challenges. Jim Farley, Ford's CEO, admitted after driving a Chinese-made electric vehicle that North American automakers still have a long way to go before they can compete with the efficiency and affordability of their foreign rivals. He also publicly recognized that the demand for EVs is not growing as fast as anticipated, leading Ford to rethink its strategy. Ford's next move: scaling back production, delaying projects, and reevaluating whether EV trucks are really worth the investment. Ford's EV strategy in crisis. The push for electric trucks was meant to be a bold expansion, backed by billions in investments for new manufacturing facilities, battery plants, and cutting-edge EV designs. But as sales stagnate and financial losses pile up, the company is hitting the brakes on many of its ambitious plans. One of the most telling signs of Ford's EV struggles came when it announced it was halting construction on a major battery manufacturing plant in Michigan. The factory was intended to produce advanced batteries for future Ford EVs, but the company cited slowing demand and high production costs as reasons for the delay. Additionally, Ford has put its plans for a large 3-row electric SUV on hold. Originally intended to compete with models like the Tesla Model X and Rivian R1S, the project has been shelved indefinitely as Ford reassesses whether there is enough consumer interest to justify the massive development costs. These setbacks highlight a growing reality. Ford is losing money on every EV it sells. Unlike Tesla, which has mastered the art of high-margin electric vehicle sales, Ford is still struggling to make a profit from its EV lineup. Manufacturing costs remain high, battery expenses are unpredictable, and consumer willingness to pay premium prices for electric trucks is far from guaranteed. With all of these challenges mounting, Ford is also breaking records for something no automaker wants: Ford's record-setting recall problem. The automaker has always been high volume, but in 2023 and 2024, the company made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Ford led the industry in recalls, with hundreds of thousands of trucks being pulled back for critical safety issues. While recalls are nothing new in the automotive industry, the sheer number and severity of Ford's issues have raised concerns about its manufacturing process, quality control, and long-term reliability. One of the biggest recalls involved Ford Broncos and Ford Mavericks, which suffered from a dangerous power failure linked to a faulty battery. Owners reported that their vehicles lost power suddenly while driving, a terrifying scenario that could lead to serious accidents. This recall affected over 270,000 vehicles, and what made matters worse was that Ford had been aware of the issue for years, but failed to act quickly. Another massive recall targeted Ford's popular F-Series trucks, which have been plagued by engine failures, braking issues, and airbag malfunctions. In particular, turbocharged EcoBoost engines in certain Ford models have been prone to misfiring, leading to unexpected power loss or dangerous surges in acceleration. The constant flood of recalls is chipping away at Ford's reputation, making customers hesitant to invest in a brand that seems to be in a never-ending cycle of quality issues. Truck buyers expect reliability. They want a vehicle that can handle tough conditions without breaking down. Instead, many Ford owners are finding themselves dealing with repair shops and recall notices more often than they'd like. But it's not just recalls and build quality that are frustrating Ford truck owners. There's also a growing crisis under the hood: the engine and transmission issues no one is talking about. Owners are reporting serious problems with engines, transmissions, and powertrain components that were once considered rock solid. The EcoBoost engine, which Ford has heavily relied on for its F-Series lineup, has been a major source of complaints. While the turbocharged engine delivers impressive power and fuel efficiency, many owners have experienced oil leaks, misfires, and premature turbo failure. Some have even faced catastrophic engine failure, requiring complete engine replacements within 50,000 to 75,000 miles. Far too early for a truck that is supposed to last for decades. Transmission issues have also plagued Ford's lineup. Owners of F-Series trucks, including the popular F-150 and Super Duty models, have reported transmission failures, erratic shifting, and slipping gears. Some of these problems have led to sudden stalls, leaving drivers stranded or struggling to accelerate when needed. These issues can be dangerous, especially for those who use their trucks for towing and hauling heavy loads. Many of these failures can be traced back to Ford's aggressive cost-cutting and rushed production cycles. In an effort to push out new models quickly and reduce expenses, Ford has sacrificed reliability and durability, two things truck buyers prioritize the most. With all these mounting problems, Ford is facing an even bigger issue. Loyal customers are starting to walk away from the brand. Why truck owners are losing faith in Ford. One major reason for this shift is brand trust. Ford's declining build quality, record-setting recalls, and increasing mechanical failures have forced many longtime Ford owners to start considering other options. Instead of simply upgrading to a newer Ford model, more customers are cross-shopping Ram, Chevrolet, Toyota, and even newcomers like Rivian. The resale value of Ford trucks is also starting to decline, a troubling sign for potential buyers. High recall rates, mechanical issues, and skyrocketing repair costs are driving down the long-term value of Ford trucks. For many buyers, this is a deal breaker. Truck owners want a vehicle that retains its value and can be resold for a decent price when they're ready for an upgrade. If Ford trucks continue to lose their resale advantage, more customers may start looking elsewhere. Competition is another major factor. Ram has improved the quality, comfort, and performance of its trucks, stealing market share from Ford. Chevrolet has also invested heavily in making its Silverado more competitive, focusing on reliability and towing power. Even Tesla's Cybertruck and Rivian's adventure-focused trucks are attracting attention, proving that the pickup market is evolving. At a time when Ford should be doubling down on reliability and customer satisfaction, it seems to be struggling to keep up with shifting market demands. If Ford doesn't address these growing concerns soon, it could lose an entire generation of truck buyers to its competitors. Ford isn't the first truck brand to face a crisis, but can it learn from others who have been in this position before? The rise and fall of GM's truck dominance. There was a time when General Motors was the undisputed king of trucks. Throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, Chevrolet and GMC pickups were everywhere, dominating sales and setting the benchmark for reliability and power. Ford was still a strong competitor, but General Motors had an undeniable presence. The Silverado and Sierra became staples of the American workforce and suburban driveways alike, offering powerful V8 engines, rugged designs, and affordable pricing. However, General Motors' grip on the market started to weaken, and it all came down to a series of critical miscalculations. One of General Motors' biggest mistakes was ignoring reliability issues while aggressively cutting costs. In the early 2000s, the company started making significant changes to its trucks in an attempt to maximize profits. The strategy seemed logical: reduce manufacturing expenses, streamline production, and boost margins. However, this led to a noticeable drop in quality. Customers who had once trusted General Motors trucks for their durability began experiencing engine failures, transmission problems, and premature rusting. Some of the worst offenders were the 5.3-liter Vortec engines, which suffered from excessive oil consumption, leading to premature wear and costly repairs. At the same time, General Motors failed to innovate, allowing Ford and newer competitors to gain ground. While Ford was investing heavily in new engine technologies, towing capabilities, and improved interiors, General Motors was slow to update its lineup. The Silverado and Sierra, once at the top of their class, started to feel outdated. Customers began shifting their loyalty elsewhere, seeking trucks with better fuel efficiency, advanced tech features, and stronger reliability ratings. The real wake-up call came during the financial crisis of 2008. General Motors, already struggling with declining truck sales, found itself in financial ruin. The company was forced to file for bankruptcy and accept a government bailout, something that shook consumer confidence even further. Truck buyers saw General Motors as unstable, while Ford, which managed to avoid a bailout, emerged looking like the more resilient company. However, General Motors did not stay down for long. The company recognized that if it wanted to regain its dominance, it needed to reinvent itself. The Silverado and Sierra underwent a complete transformation, with better build quality, stronger powertrains, and a renewed focus on reliability. General Motors also modernized its truck interiors, moving away from outdated designs and offering better infotainment, luxury trims, and improved ride comfort. Fast forward to today, and General Motors has successfully rebranded itself as a serious contender in the truck war. The Silverado and Sierra are once again among the best-selling trucks, and the company has learned the importance of quality control, innovation, and consumer trust. The lesson here for Ford: even the strongest truck brands can fall if they fail to adapt. But General Motors is not the only company that struggled to challenge Ford. Another brand, known for reliability in almost every segment, has consistently failed to make a dent in Ford's truck dominance: Toyota's truck struggles. The company has dominated the global automotive industry for decades, setting the gold standard for reliability, fuel efficiency, and longevity. However, when it comes to full-size trucks, Toyota has never been able to seriously challenge Ford, General Motors, or Ram. The company has spent years trying to break into the American truck market with the Tundra, remains a niche player rather than a true competitor. Toyota's biggest challenge has always been convincing American truck buyers that it belongs in the full-size market. While Toyota's mid-size Tacoma has been a massive success, the Tundra has struggled to capture market share, never coming close to the sales figures of the Ford F-Series, Chevrolet Silverado, or Ram trucks. The primary reason, Toyota underestimated just how brand-loyal truck buyers are in the United States. Another critical mistake was failing to update the Tundra fast enough. The second-generation Tundra, introduced in 2007, was a solid truck, but it remained largely unchanged for more than a decade. While Ford, General Motors, and Ram were rolling out new powertrains, aluminum bodies, and advanced towing technologies, Toyota kept relying on an outdated design. The slow innovation cycle hurt the Tundra's appeal, making it seem like an afterthought in the full-size truck market. Toyota also struggled with fuel efficiency and pricing. The Tundra's older V8 engines were thirsty, offering worse gas mileage than Ford's EcoBoost V6 or Ram's Hemi V8. In an era where fuel costs are a major concern, Toyota's refusal to offer hybrid or turbocharged engine options put it at a disadvantage. Additionally, the Tundra's pricing was often too close to more established American trucks, making it a tough sell for buyers who were already skeptical about choosing a Toyota over a Ford or Chevrolet. However, Toyota has slowly started to turn things around. The latest Tundra redesign introduced a twin-turbo V6 hybrid, a major leap forward in efficiency and power. Toyota is also pushing into the electric truck space, recognizing that the future of pickups may not be entirely gas-powered. The lesson for Ford: even a legendary brand like Toyota can struggle in the truck market if it does not keep up with innovation and customer expectations. But while Toyota never quite broke into Ford's territory, there is one truck brand that did, the once underdog, now thriving Ram. Ram's aggressive comeback, and what Ford should fear. For years, Ram was seen as the third-place truck brand, trailing behind Ford and Chevrolet in sales. But something changed in the last decade. Ram trucks started gaining serious momentum, and today, they are stealing market share from Ford in a way few expected. Ram's comeback started with a radical redesign in 2019, focusing on luxury, technology, and interior quality. While Ford was busy promoting its aluminum body and General Motors was focusing on engine performance, Ram took a different approach. Make trucks feel more premium. The Ram 1500 interior became the best in its class, offering features like a massive touchscreen, high-end materials, and better ride comfort. Suddenly, truck buyers who wanted both power and luxury had a new favorite brand. Ram also kept its pricing aggressive, often undercutting Ford and General Motors on similar trim levels. This strategy helped bring in new buyers who were previously loyal to Ford and Chevrolet. Today, Ram continues to chip away at Ford's dominance, proving that even a brand once considered an underdog can become a serious threat. So, after seeing how General Motors rebounded, how Toyota struggled, and how Ram surged forward, where does this leave Ford? Final verdict: Ford is at a crossroads. The company has built an empire on truck sales, but cracks are forming. Between pricing issues, quality concerns, and shifting market demands, Ford must act fast to avoid the mistakes that brought down other automakers. To survive, Ford must rethink its pricing strategy, making trucks more affordable for the average buyer. It must address quality control, ensuring that reliability matches its premium price tags. And perhaps most importantly, Ford must figure out its electric truck strategy, balancing innovation with real-world practicality. The next few years will be crucial. Will Ford adapt, or will it become another cautionary tale in automotive history? Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Do you think Ford can turn things around, or is it too late? Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.